Hey guys, Randy here. I'm a realtor with NextHome Treasure Valley here in the Boise, Idaho, Mountain Home, Idaho areas. It's been a while. It's been a while for different reasons. One, I had some pretty major health stuff happen. And then two, I moved to Boise. Which is why I'm gonna make today's video 10 things I love about moving to Boise. So if you are looking to move to the Boise, Idaho or Mountain Home, Idaho areas, because I'm still servicing both for sure, Twin Falls, whatever, I'll go down there, that's fine. Anyways, let me know. I would love to help you out. My contact information will be in the description below. But like I said, today's video is going to be 10 things I love about moving to Boise, Idaho. So stay tuned. All right, guys, like I said, 10 things I love about living in Boise, Idaho. We're just gonna get started. Number one is there is more available to do here than in Mountain Home, and this is as far as in like the city itself. A Mountain Home, as well as Boise and most of Idaho, has a lot of outdoor, camping, fishing, hunting, the whole nine yards. And Mountain Home definitely has been growing as far as the things that they're offering to people who live there. But same thing here with Boise, and some of these answers are going to repeat themselves, I know, so I'll try to keep it fairly brief in the beginning. But there's just a lot to do here. There's food-wise, there's almost anything you can think of, including now In-N-Out and Wiener Schnitzel. Even though I'm not a Wiener Schnitzel guy, I definitely like some In-N-Out. Not the biggest fan of their fries. I know some people swear by their fries, and they're all right, but I do like their burgers quite a bit. We got the Five Guys also. So if you like paying twice the price for the burger, Five Guys is amazing. They do really have good burgers. It's just definitely price-wise, there's a little bit more. But not only that, we have like the new Shields that came to town, which if you're not familiar with Shields, it's like a super sporting goods place that has a Ferris wheel and everything, and that's there in Meridian. But when I say Boise area, I mean literally I'm encompassing all of the Meridian, Caldwell, Napa, the whole thing, Eagle. So definitely there's a lot more to do here than there was in Mountain Home. Number two would be the drives. Now this is not only in town because, it's kind of a nice drive to drive throughout town. However, the surrounding area is also very beautiful. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I used to love to do the drives outside of Mountain Home, and I still stand by that. You can go down to the Bruneau Dunes, and the surrounding area is just absolutely gorgeous. Same rules apply here in the Boise area. Down below Boise Meridian, you got the Kuna area. There's a lot of open land, but the areas that I actually really love to go into is north of Boise here and north of Eagle. There's a lot of local roads and stuff. I love looking at the houses, really nice houses out there with these properties, and I'm gonna try to fit in some footage here of what I'm talking about. Just a lot of gorgeous stuff to look at, including some housing areas. That is my number three. And I'll just go into that. Number three is some of the beautiful housing areas in town and in surrounding areas. Aesthetically, very pleasing. Some of these, I live kind of in the area of the Village Mall, which I've talked about before. It's an outdoor mall, very nice area. And right around there's a whole lot of housing areas, subdivisions, whatnot. The aesthetics, they really pay attention to, either with fountains or there's places with golf courses right, built in. But as you go out, so say the Eagle area, you have these housing areas there. I want to say the one area is called Legacy. This place to me kind of takes the cake. It's this whole huge housing area, and it has all these man-made like ponds or lakes. I guess it'd be ponds, but they're fairly big. and they got like docks that go into the houses, and some of the water fountains that are built there like are very almost kind of remind you of something you would see like in like the Mayan ruins or something. Like they have a very ancient ruin type look, but they're fountains and they're built right by the golf course and the swimming pool in someone's backyard. So I love going in those areas, both in the daylight, but also at night when it's dark, because you have these little lights that are out on the water. And I've taken pictures. In fact, I'll share one photo in particular where you can see the light reflecting off the pond from the house. I love, there's just these little lights all around where the docks are, and it reminds me a lot of like a Universal Studios or a Disneyland, like Pirates of the Caribbean at the beginning of the ride, where the people are eating, and I don't know, it's so gorgeous to me. So I definitely love that. Number 4, I used this answer before with Mountain Home, and I'm gonna use it again. In fact, I think I even used it in Idaho. But it's still the friendly people. I know there's some people that disagree with me. They've told me that I lied to them when I said about the friendly people. And I'm sorry, but I have to disagree again. I think the friendly people, or people here, are so friendly as a whole. I'm not saying there's not unfriendly people in Boise. I'm saying mainly my experience is I meet a lot of friendly people. Number 5 is the unique places to visit here in the Boise area. Once again, there's going to be things like the Boise Penitentiary, which I talked about before, the Botanical Gardens, which is right next door to the Boise Pen. In fact, there was a connection there at one time. Of course, Boise State Stadium with the blue field is very unique. Not many places you can go in the world to see the blue field, of course. And then we have an art museum also. There's lots of museums. There's places where you can float the river. And a lot of these I do plan on making future videos. So that's all hopefully in the works. They have the Basque Festival coming up soon. And we have the Basque District, which is also something that's unique about the Boise area. And then if you go south, of course, you have the bridge over the canyon. I think it's called the Perrine Bridge. I always butcher it in Twin Falls, but that's not Boise. So number 6 is sporting. If you're a sporting person, Boise is a great place for you. Not only am I talking about, we have, the minor league teams here. We don't have any major league teams, but we have like the Boise Steelheads, which is our hockey team, the Hawks, which is our minor league baseball team, and of course Boise State's college teams from different sports. But we have a lot of parks in the area, and a lot of those parks have, tennis courts, pickleball courts, frisbee golf is pretty big here. You can rent bikes or electric scooters everywhere, which I don't know if that'd be considered sporting, but we have the Boise Greenbelt. If you're someone who likes to walk, run, bicycle, what have you, just that all is great. But also, I mentioned earlier about Scheels Sporting Goods, which is basically like a sporting goods mall, if you will, but it's one company, and there's a Ferris wheel in there, and there's like an arcade, like a shooting arcade, like you would see at the old circuses and whatnot, or at least the circus they had it in Vegas. They have like a little bowling lane or a pair of lanes there that the pins are like held up by string, and you can bowl with your family like super cheap. I think it's like $1 a game, $1.50 a game or something. So that's just Scheels. And then of course we have Cabela's. And then, if you're someone who's into the hunting, fishing, and all that, there's lots of places you can buy guns and hunting equipment, fishing equipment, what have you. They even have a big area for electric bikes if you're into that. But anyway, so you have Scheels, Cabela's, just a lot of course, like Dick's and sporting goods. So lots of things for the outdoors people, but also just the sporting people in general to enjoy. Number 7 would be the concerts that I've seen since being in the Boise area, and also the venues. One in particular I really like is the Quest Arena, and that's where the Steelheads play, the hockey team. I've seen a few shows there now, and I really like it because it attracts fairly decent named artists. There's not a bad seat in the house. Like it's not that big of an arena, So wherever you sit, it's fairly decent. You can get a good view. I've had everything from the quote unquote nosebleed seats all the way to floor seats. I've always enjoyed it. In fact, I saw Death Cab for Cutie there recently, and it was a great show. Well, they put on a great show with the Postal Service, but also I've seen Nate Bargatze there, Gabriel Iglesias. That was a great show. I'm not fat, I'm fluffy. But I've also been to the Idaho Center. So the Idaho Center has a great indoor and an outdoor arena. The Hawk Stadium, where I forgot the official name of the Botanical Gardens, where I talked about before, right next to the prison, they also do shows. In fact, I'm supposed to see Nickel Creek next week there. So we just have kind of a lot as far as venues, but also for local shows. There's the Knitting Factory, and then the Revolution Concert House, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the official name is. It's right by our fairgrounds. The fairgrounds also has some really good shows there. I've seen like Train and other artists doing the Boise Music Festival. But the Revolution, to me, is like the loudest place I've ever been into. It's not that big of a club, if you will, but they make it sound like you're in a stadium in there. It's so loud. So if you go in there, definitely bring some hearing protection. If you're smart, if you're not like me, then you suffer through it. But anyways, number 8 is the new stuff that's coming into the Boise area. I love that now we do have like an In-N-Out, like I talked about, the Wiener Schnitzel, Shields. There's just a lot of growth coming into the Boise area. And as far as I can understand, it's just more and more is going to come. They're opening another grocery outlet right across of Eagle from where I live. And grocery outlet, I talked about one going into Mountain Home a while back. It's kind of a cool little store, if you will. It's like a mini store. Anyways, just lots of growth happening. Number 9, I kind of talked about this also earlier, but there's parks everywhere. And not only are they parks, but they're very nicely done parks, in my opinion. Right by where the village is, there's a park there that it's got the 9-hole or 9 frisbee golf course that wraps around the park, and then you have a pickleball courts, and there's a hill there in the winter that people go sledding down. And if I can find my pictures, I'll put those on there from the winter. But that's just one of the parks. Downtown, you have the Ann Morrison Park and Julia Davis Park, and just all these great parks that the city, or cities, I should say, they offer to us and they take care of, and they're very clean, very safe environments. And so if you're someone who likes parks, then Boise would be a great place for you to explore those. So number 10 that I talked about before is the Boise Greenbelt. The Greenbelt, according to the cityofboise.org or cityofboise.org, is a 25-mile tree-lined pathway that follows the north and south sides of the Boise River through the heart of the city and provides scenic views, wild habitat, and pedestrian access to many of Boise's popular riverside parks. The Greenbelt just seems to go and go and go. And I'll be honest, I really haven't explored it, which is sad because 25 miles cutting through the heart of Boise. There's no excuse for me not exploring it, but I haven't. So I'm going to try to actually get a little footage of that to fit in here. So if you're seeing it, I finally explored it. If it's just pictures, then I downloaded them from Google. Anyways, all these things I love having around. I know I said things I love about Boise and I haven't explored the Greenbelt, but I love that it's here and I love that it's an offering to me, and it's so close. Like, it's just down the street. I can go to the Boise Greenbelt. Not to mention, like I said, the Boise River runs through. And I'm telling you, if you've thought about the Boise area at all, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And I know I'm not giving everything that the area has to offer, probably not even a small fraction of what the area has to offer. These are just 10 things that I love about it. But do yourself a favor, come here on vacation, like plan a vacation here and just see if it's a fit for you. I'm a realtor in the area. Like I said, if while you're here, you just want to look at a couple of places, let me know. I'd love to take you out, get some coffee or whatever and chat and just get to know the area. So anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I don't have a new buyer's guide. My website should still have the old one that kind of shows you the area, but the old one should still be on the link if you look at the description below. And if not, just email me and I'll get that to you as soon as possible. Randy at randywrealestate.com. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching this. I apologize it's been so long, but I do plan on getting back to making these on a regular basis. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.